Hello and welcome to another video as part of my children's book series. Now in this video I'm actually going to cover illustrations, and I was actually incorrect in the previous video. I said it was going to be about the book launch, but I skipped a part and I want to make sure that we cover illustrations when you're creating your book, because there are a number of different options that you can choose from. Now for me personally, I go down the track or the route of choosing an illustrator, because for me choosing an illustrator is conducive to the kinds of books that I'm creating. So in my series of books, which is called Archie the Bear, I have an illustrator called Svetlana, and she does some incredible work. And I've been engaging with Svetlana for all of my books, because the kinds of books that I'm creating are about experiences, and I want a bit of an old school look about those illustrations. Now, if you haven't looked at my or watched my previous lessons as part of this series, we look at the book that I created, Archie the Bear. Then we also looked at niches, keywords, the storyline, and now we're up to the illustrations. So what I'm going to do right now is show you a couple of the illustrations that I had completed by Svetlana in my book, and they're hand-drawn illustrations, so they're very, very unique. So in my book, Archie the Bear, I'm just going to open up to one of the pages. So if I go to this page right here, you can see the exquisite work that is going into these illustrations. So you can see those right there, and that obviously takes a fair bit of time to get those illustrations right. But what I'm going to also do is provide a number of different options that you can consider when you're looking to either engage in Illustrator or even do those illustrations yourself. So let me bring up a few of the different options, and I'll allow you to go and explore those different options. But I just want to provide you with a number of them and how they could potentially help you with your illustrations, and probably the pros and cons against each of these options that you could choose. So let me show you them right now. So some of the sites that you could consider using, and I'll quickly visit a few of these. We've got pixabay.com, unsplash.com, vecteezy.com, canva.com, midjourney.com, and Microsoft Bing have actually brought out a new AI creation tool like Midjourney. I'm going to create a video in the future about that, but for today I just wanted to talk about those commercial use image opportunities. So let's go to those a few of these websites right now. But you can also outsource your images using Upwork and Freelancer and Fiverr, but I'll cover that in a moment. So let's go to some of these commercial use images that you can use. So to begin with, we've got Pixabay, and the main thing is to ensure that you can use the images for commercial use. It's the main thing. So if we were doing a search, let's just say it is a search for child at the beach, or illustration of child at the beach. Now let's see what it comes up with. So you've got different illustrations that you could potentially look over and have a look at. Sometimes you might find that these different websites have crossovers. So you could have some images that have a crossover between, say, Pixabay, and if we go to this one right here, let's do the same, and we're going to explore, click that one. You can also see that we've got different images right here that we can choose from. Again, you'll just need to spend some time looking through if you can find illustrations. Let's have a look at these ones. So you can go images, and this one's called vecteezy.com, and we'll do the same to find out what we can actually find. So if we scroll down here, let's get rid of this. You can find all these different illustrations that you might like to use. But remember, you want consistency within the illustrations that you're doing. So at the moment, we've got Pixabay, there is unsplash.com, we've got vecteezy.com, and when you're again looking at these sort of things, you need to make sure that you've got the commercial use of these images. So if we were to click on this one right here, then what you need to do is to check out whether you can, if you need a pro license, or if there's a way that you can determine if there's a way that you can find out if you need the pro license and what that includes. So the free license, you can get the use of images, but with the pro, there are obviously a number of different advantages there. So the attribution is your work and allows you to provide free content, grow the community. So you can have a look at those. Now let's have a look at the other option here, which is to use Canva. Now I've got Canva Pro. If we were to go to design and we'll do a similar thing, child each, I'll find out what they've got here. So you can find out if there's any images that you might like to use from Canva. You can also go to this one and have a look at different graphics that you might be able to choose, and go to the graphics right here, and you can find a lot of these different images that you could potentially use if you wanted to use these in your story. Again, when you're using Canva, you can use the images for commercial use as long as you are not just using the straight up template. So you couldn't just use that by itself. You might need to delete some things, change things around so that you aren't just copying the exact images that are on Canva, but you can use the images for commercial use. And if you want to look into that further, make sure you do a Google search of commercial use images for Canva and the use of those images. So they're the different options if you're choosing to do the illustrations or designs yourself. But if you wanted to use other sites like Fiverr or like Freelancer or Upwork, then it's important that you do your homework to find out what illustrators might be reasonable and what they're going to provide in regards to the work that they can do. So I'm going to show you some illustrations that I had done by someone on Upwork, and I thought these were really good. And these are the illustrations that I had completed when I was doing a book about going to the beach, and that's as part of the course that I show you this process as well. But you can see the quality images is great. The only difference that I'll probably make is make the change of the hat to a different color. It blends in with the sand too much. So in hindsight, I would have probably got the illustrator to change that. But when you go to websites like Freelancer, you can hire a freelancer and you can create different challenges and you can choose your illustrator that way. But I just wanted to provide you with all of these different options that are available for you, because choosing an illustrator is just critically important. One of the other areas that you need to consider if you were to engage in Illustrator is the way that you convey what is required for each of the illustrations. You need to be very descriptive of what you want. You need to get what's up in your mind and allow them to be creative with that information. Now, if you're using AI technology such as Midjourney, just carefully check that you have the commercial use of those images. You don't want to be pulled up later and have a legal fight on your hands because you've used images that have been created by AI that have the ability to have dual commercial use from Midjourney and you being the author. So that's just a something to be wary of and aware of as well. When you're creating your illustrations, you just want them to be as best as you can for your children's book, because they do really bring it to life. And in my course, I provide the templates for what I've used to bring the descriptions together for my illustrator to create the illustrations. And having a great relationship with your illustrator, if you were to engage someone, just really helps, because they become part of that process, part of that story, and they're really wanting their work to be seen as well. Beyond what they're doing for you, if you can help promote their work, then that's even more beneficial for them later down the track as well. So hopefully that information does help. Now, the next video we will be doing will be about the book launch and how I've been able to get my books to either a bestseller or a #1 new release. Now, you may find it challenging to get a bestseller in some categories which are highly competitive, but at least if you can get that #1 new release tag, that will definitely help with the sales. But we'll cover that in the next video that I create. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, you've got some tips, and I'll see you in the next video.